a former high-ranking aide to New York governors Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo, was arrested yesterday with her husband Chris, who apparently she didn't take his last name. They were charged with acting as secret agents for the Chinese government and the CCP. Linda Soon, she held various influential positions within the New York State's government, is accused of engaging in political activities that benefited the CCP, including, guys, listen to this, manipulating high-level officials' messaging to align with China's interests and blocking Taiwanese representatives from accessing New York State officers.
Is manipulating not code, but a euphemism for having intercourse with?
007 is notorious for banging the hot bad girl and then killing them. That's how it is.
It is.
But he bangs them first. Anyway, Linda Soon, several times she bragged to Chinese consulate officials about blocking Cuomo and Hochul from meeting with or publicly even mentioning Taiwan. Can you believe this shit, bro? She was in charge. By the way, you have to bleep that one out. When they disputed, by the way, including when Disputed Island sent 200,000 much-needed masks to New York during the early days of COVID-19 pandemic. The documents state her husband, Chris, who was involved in laundering the money they received as kickbacks from the Chinese government. They allegedly used their earnings to purchase luxury property vehicles, including a $4 million home in New York, ridiculous, a $2.1 million condo in Hawaii, and a 2024 Ferrari. They're going to be arraigned in Brooklyn, I think today, and their arrest was at their Long Island home. Rob, I'm sorry. And by the way, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Connor. The guy is not only the writer for VT News, the guy is a monster on this show with his stories. When somebody drops out, this guy's on the computer right now doing all this stories, so I want to give a shout out to Connor. Connor, can you please play this video? This is her sick-ass home in Long Island, and this is them raiding it. And yes, we put the photo so you guys can see how hot she is. Go ahead, play this. Dude, can you imagine that? You're the neighbor of this chick, and that's happening. Spies.
Surprisingly, not properly identified for law enforcement.
Oh, no.
Better.
But dude, look at this neighborhood. This is a no joke Long Island neighborhood, bro.
But the idea that she would have a 2024 Ferrari, like the real estate is easier to not disguise but conceal. If you're going to be a spy, get in whatever to get some money, you get a 2024 Ferrari. Seems a little ostentatious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can stop it, Connor. So the indictment details years of efforts of Sun, allegedly at the request of the Chinese consulate, to minimize contact between Taiwanese government officials and New York governors under Cuomo and Hochul starting in 2016. Guys, this is right around the time that weird pandemic. Remember that pandemic? That virus, the deadly virus that came out of this same country? I'm going to get into that too. She boasted about her successful efforts with Chinese officials about how dope she was. And she said, in one time, this is in quotes, I almost had a heart attack when we referred to Taiwan as a country. She texted a Chinese official back in 2020, and she goes, thankfully, I had the press team corrected. One instance, she got Cuomo. Think about this. Think about the influence. She got Andrew Cuomo, to publicly thank Chinese officials who appears to be Consul General Huang Ping on social media for helping him line up 1 million surgical masks during COVID. Here's a video. Guys, here's a video of her pushing DEI, equity, okay, and saying that we have to have equity in the United States. Mind you, guys, this is a spy for China. Play the video.
I think, when people say diversity and inclusion, I think everybody agrees, or most people generally agree that it's a good thing, right? But I think right now we also need to bring in the word equity, right? Diversity is when you say that there's, many different types of people with different backgrounds, and they're all, invited to the table. Inclusion is when, we include all of their ideas. But equity is when we make sure that all of the people who are at the table have equal access to making sure that
you're a spy.
Well, first get that equal access is not what they mean by equity. It's equal outcomes that they mean by equity.
Quoted is that we don't have that much leadership or representation.
Guys, you understand what's happening? A Chinese spy was pushing, hey, everybody should have a voice. Everybody should be able to make decisions.
Except Taiwan.
Except Taiwan. And hey, guys, I'm a spy. So listen to me. And guys, I don't know about, I am sick and tired of China having its way with us, no lube, and nothing happens. Okay, this, by the way, the hell with the corruption, Rob. This is treason, okay? And it's not, by the way, MSNBC, and that's why, Amy, when I walked in today and I told about the story, Amy's like, I haven't even heard about it. Why would the mainstream media even cover this? They're worried about J-Lo and Ben Affleck's relationship as if I give a damn. I don't care. I've seen that more. Amy, I guarantee you know more about their relationship than what the hell's happening with spies embedded in our government, bro, that are making decisions.
Vinny.
Yes.
As a person who's been trailed by the CCP.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, shit.
They're the worst spies. They're super obvious. They're super obvious.
Why? Because they look alike?
No. They ask all these stupid questions. They take pictures everywhere. You will go to a restaurant. They'll be there. You go here. Like, they will trail you. Like, super obvious. Oh, I can't talk much about the whole situation. But when I'm saying, like, I'm not playing this game, Vinny. Remember when that basketball player like said something against China and
it was LeBron James.
No,
right?
I think it's Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
All right, he had to apologize. So, like, one of the biggest leagues of sports in the United States is afraid of China, and they made the guy apologize.
John Cena had to apologize in Mandarin.
He apologized in Mandarin. He's a cuck. I'm sorry.
He's a cuck, and so is freaking LeBron James.
And so is LeBron James. So, like, we're owned, sold, and whatever. Like, there's nothing we can do about it.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say, I'd like to see a picture of the CCP to look at the diversity, equity, and inclusion there. Something tells me we're not going to see any other race, any other religion, any other creed. But that is pure subversion to have a literal Chinese communist spy pushing DEI when they know it's an intention to take down America via division.
The thing is that people don't understand, and this I'm going to catch heat for this. Every Chinese citizen that comes into the United States is a potential spy. Everyone has a duty to report back to China. They have student unions in universities. They have a bunch of things, and they will report. And
what are they reporting on?
They report on whatever the Chinese government wants to know. Like, let's say you're working in a company.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing, whatever, and the Chinese go like, oh, this guy has access. They tap you in. And you have no choice if not you're going back to China.
That's the point, is that it's spying through either enticement or coercion, which these Chinese police stations that they had here were to harass either citizens, naturalized or residents, via threats of their family in China in order to get information from them. And so it's through duress that a lot of this actually happens.
But then guess what? How do you remedy the situation? And we talked about it before we came in here. It's like, hey, China, I'm sorry, Chinese people, your little group messed it up for everybody else. I would say 0 Chinese people are going to be working in government. I'm sorry. No AIDS, no nothing. This group has messed it up for everything. Because when I tell you, China, and you nailed it, Dave, is trying to destroy us from within, look how much crap they've done in the past 4 years, and they've gotten away with it, right? Remember we reported they were flying spy balloons all over the United States, and Joe Biden didn't say shit.
Well, we shot it down after it had already crossed and completed its mission, and then it was safely over the seas, so we could shoot it down. But really, it was a balloon and a satellite. If they shot it over the rural farmlands of Montana, I don't think there would be any impact.
Rob, 100% correct. And they're like, yeah, because we don't know what's in it. No, you know exactly what's in it. And you know what they're doing. They're recording everything for like a preset plan or an attack, which I think they're going to be doing. What
do you remember? There was when there was a bunch of the Chinese. What a weird memory hole that went down. There were all of these Chinese spy balloons that were being seen above the skies of the United States, and there were F-15 pilots that were being sent out and shooting them down, or F-16 pilots. And then there was one that was shot down over one of the lakes in Michigan, one of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, Erie, whatever. And they had footage from the plane that shot it down, but they refused to release what they shot down. They refused to release the coverage of what it was that they So they had footage from the plane that they didn't release, and they also didn't release any information regarding what they actually shot down. Why would you hide that?
Well, yeah.
Why would you hide something that was over the United States of America, was shot down by our government, and you're not going to tell us what it is?
Well, and by the way, besides the balloons, this is how much they can do whatever they want. They've bought land all across the country. I think Bill Gates and them are like the top 2, like buying farm. By the way,
near military bases.
Near military bases, bro. At Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana, that's a nuclear missile base. You're letting them buy land, and then they can unleash a global pandemic on the world, killing millions of Americans and millions abroad. Nothing happens to them. 0. Okay? And I'm telling you guys right now, I have 2 questions, like I said. what's the vetting process? What's the vetting?
None.
There is none.
No, it's not.
There's no vetting process.
Well, it's even tougher than that. I mean, you wonder to what degree the government's actually in collusion with Chinese interests, but it's if anybody doesn't appreciate that it's an outright war of the CCP against Western democracies. You have the fentanyl that's coming in over the border that's originating in China. You have the TikTok, which is the psychological warfare, indoctrinating a generation, basically indoctrinating a generation of Americans to sterilize themselves, while the TikTok in China, from what I understand, is wildly different and actually mildly healthy. It's overt war, and it's a long-term war. I forget who gave the anecdote, but he said, and I forget who the politician was, but they asked a Chinese Communist Party politician about the French Revolution. Something about like the idea being, we'll tell you how it works out, in the long run. How did the French Revolution turn out? It's still too early to tell.
Yeah.
China as a nation is playing a long game in terms of global domination.
No bullet shot.
And right now, no bullet shot. And it's slow infiltration and degradation of competing powers.
Mm-hmm.
I sent Connor this. Connor, could you pull us up? We talked about the John Cena thing. The best thing about the John Cena apology is that John Cena had to apologize in Mandarin to Chinese audience members after calling Taiwan a country. Here's the article. This is from MSNBC. But then go to the next slide, if you could. This is a description from Wikipedia. Did you not get the Wikipedia?
Oh,
it's in there.
Okay. Read it, Rob.
Wikipedia describes... Hold on, let me pull it up.
Go ahead.
Wikipedia describes Taiwan. Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, is a country in East Asia.
Yeah.
So he's apologizing for defining Taiwan as a country, but Taiwan is defined as a country. And then the other thing that I sent quickly was the Chinese spy balloon. Just so we don't get memory hold on this, this was a Politico article. It came out... February 12th of 2023, the U.S. military shot down an unidentified object flying over Michigan on Sunday, making it the fourth airborne object down by American forces in just over a week. Defense officials on Sunday night declined to identify what the objects shot down over the weekend might be, raising questions over the threat the objects could have represented to civilians across North America. So we apologize to China. You know who the second largest debt owner of the United States is?
China?
It's China. Japan is number one. They have $1 trillion. They own $1 trillion in our debt. 1.1 trillion Japan owns, but China owns 859.4 billion, or 4 rounds of Ukraine funding from the United States.
Yeah,
that's why we're their bitch. We owe them money. We allow them to infiltrate our colleges. They've infiltrated our youth with TikTok. And Dave brought up a great point. The TikTok algorithms in China compared to the ones that are here that my son looks at when he's on TikTok are completely different. It's idiots eating Tide Pods here, and over there it's academics.
Yeah, and I mean, Rob, great point from both of you. And think about it from a war standpoint. Not one bullet shot, but you nailed it. Fentanyl is killing hundreds and thousands of people a year.
Young fighting age.
And dude, listen, hats off to these sons of bitches. Not only are they doing that, then you're talking about TikTok. They're making us, the youth, so weak. There's so much gay shit happening in the military. We are so soft. Bro, if they invaded, I think for every one soldier we have, they have 20. If it was a ground invasion right now, we'd be cooked. There'd be guys making like TikTok videos like, I'm a soldier, pow. And then the CCP is here. Yeah, pow, pow. Like, no, you need to pick up your real gun, Stanley. Like, it's unbelievable. And by the way, they own Joe Biden. Let's not even go to the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden relationship. Hold on. He is the most corrupt, owned son of a bitch president of all of them, all right? He drives me freaking nuts. But guys, this isn't the first time that this Chinese spy shit has happened. You guys remember Eric Swalwell?
Yes.
The horny-ass congressman from California? He was banging a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. So he was getting that Fang Fang from Fang Fang. Nothing really happened about it. People try to clown him on the Congress floor. Nothing came about it, but he did. Dianne Feinstein, she had a Chinese spy who worked as a personal driver for 20 years while she served as a senior member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Guys, think about, I mean, it's possible, it's feasible that people have died because of this, of this spying on these freaking Democrats.
Who had the driver? I'm trying to.
Dianne Feinstein.
Dianne Feinstein, because now I'm thinking, Swallow is doing Bang Bang with Fang Fang. Was Dianne Feinstein also knocking boots with her driver? Like that visual.
Dude, by the way, she might have, but that spy reportedly provided political intelligence back to China. And let's play both sides. Mitch McConnell, while not directly linked to a spy within his staff, there have been concerns and reports about Mitch McConnell's connections to his wife, Elaine Chao, whose family business has significant ties to the Chinese government. And Loretta Sanchez, a former congressman from California, was reportedly targeted by a Chinese spy. I'm sick and tired of China. And let me say this. Saying that doesn't mean I hate Chinese people. So if you're going to play that game, take it somewhere else. But I'm sick and tired of them owning our assets, from our celebrities and our presidents worshiping them. When they go to California, Gavin Newsom cleans up the streets.
For the first time in 20 years.
For the first time in 20 years, I didn't see one American flag. It was all Chinese flags. Oh, if I was there, I would have ripped every single one of them down. You guys know how I feel. Dude, I'm sick and tired of it because, Dave, that war that you're talking about is escalating and escalating and escalating. What's going to be the kill shot? COVID, to me, was a kill shot. My opinion, I think the relationship with the deep state in China was like, yo, we don't want this guy to win. What are we going to do? Hey, guess what? We own a lab. Why don't we just have it leak? And that's why I believe, because nobody's been held accountable. Even till today, they're like this. The lab leak theory might be real. No. What are we playing games for? And I think, Humberto, come September 10th, when Kamala gets wrecked, gets freaking destroyed, the people that are going to help the government not let Trump win, I think it's going to be China. That's my personal opinion.
Well, Vinny, and you brought a good point about how these people work. I do a lot of reading on China because I think it's interesting. Yeah. The way they think about time and the way they plan things is completely different. For example, the fentanyl thing.
Yeah.
They call the last century the century of humiliation. Okay. All right? And that's part of the Opium Wars.
Okay.
Basically, the British went there. They got everyone addicted to opium.
Yep.
And this is payback. I mean, this is a century later, and they're doing payback with America by pumping the fentanyl into America. Like, these people, they plan ahead. Like, that's why they don't need to shoot a single bullet. It doesn't need to get hot, because they have plans for the next 200 years. Matter of fact, the Chinese government has a 300-year plan. We, as we're in a new continent, we're a new country, like in the grand scheme of time. Yeah. So we can only plan to 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. Like a big plan would be a 10-year plan. But these people are planning in centuries, Vinny.
I know.
And if you have someone planning in centuries, when you're planning in 4-year time, you have no chance. No chance. That's why it appears magical. It appears they're in the government, but their plan is way longer than
they're playing
ours.
Chess, and we're just playing checkers.
We're playing checkers, so we're cooked. But listen, I'm telling you right now, I think it should be a ban. And listen, I'm sorry. Well, a few apples ruined the bunch. Your Chinese counterparts, Linda and her husband, ruined it for everybody. And the guys, this is not the first time. I would just put an end to it. I'd be like, no more of this working for the government.
The problem is, as a result of abortion policies, as a result of sterilization of children, as a result of cost of living, Americans aren't having enough children anymore. And so now, naturally, the solution is immigration from various countries, as if that's not part of the plan to divide and conquer. If that were.
Oh, I agree 100%. So, guys, and again, if I was 007, Linda would have been finito.
Chopstick.
It would have been a movie.
Vinny's got some weird fetishes
I would have laid like a nice set of chopsticks, and people would have walked in like, oh, it was 007.